Alrighty, coming up next is going to be Focus playing Sonic 06. Let's give him a warm welcome. Take it away, Focus.
Hello everyone, my name is Focusite, otherwise known as just Focus, and I'm here today to show you Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 Silver Story No Credits Warp. So some of you may actually be familiar with this category already. This was formerly known as, its maiden name, I guess you could say, is Silver Story No Mission Select Glitch, but due to some recent findings, we actually had to change the category names around. And so this is basically the same thing as No Mission Select Glitch, it's just No Credits Warp, which was the heart of what Mission Select Glitch was in the first place. So this has a lot of tech. We have a lot of things to go through, and it's absolutely the most broken category in Sonic 06. I have been running this game for 8 years now, and Silver is by far my favorite. And there's just a lot of really cool things to show off. We are going to be explaining quite a bit as we go through here, and I speak a little bit fast, but hopefully after the first few stages it'll start to mellow down, especially since I have the natural inebriator of sleep deprivation to help me out there. One last thing before we get started, this is on a save file that has Sonic completed to 93%, which means we have access to his gems. We may have to use those, we may not have to in case we get a certain trick, but it's useful because in a certain section in Silver Story we do get to play as Sonic, or maybe not, and so having those gems are super useful, as we'll see later on. But for now, I am pretty much ready to go, and so if we are ready on time, I am happy to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the first thing first that I want to talk about, and this is where we get into the lecture, everyone, sorry. We're going to talk about Telethrow. So this is a fairly recent trick that we found about 7-8 months ago. I found completely by accident in a marathon. Silver can lift objects by standing on them and holding RT. If you are at a steep angle when you do this and try to throw the object, the game is going to throw quote-unquote down, but down in our case is actually going to be slightly up and forward. So if I lift the object like this and throw like so, we basically slingshot ourselves to the ends of sections. It is incredibly fast. As you can see. There we go, first section done in 17 seconds. This is the epitome of a trick that is easy to learn, hard to master, because the concept itself is very simple. You can do it on pretty much any object that has a steep enough angle, and it's something that even like a casual player, when we first found out, some people who hadn't really speedrun the game were trying it and realized like, oh, this is pretty easy. The applications of it are much harder though, and so it's that sort of trick, which is honestly great for speedrunning. So normally at this point I'm supposed to play as Blaze, but we can use something called levitation extensions as Silver to skip around Blaze. You're going to see at the bottom right there is an action gauge, the glowing bar right there. That limits pretty much all of Silver's mechanics. I had to get that bird, I'm sorry. That's a bit slow, but that's okay. I can explain a little bit more about the mechanics that Silver has. So Silver has an action gauge at the bottom right. Basically, this limits every single thing he does, ranging from picking up objects, hovering, and teleport dashing later. All these things are limited by the action gauge at the bottom right. And so to avoid that, and sort of to manage that, we need to make sure that we're holding on to objects properly. Just do like this. And so one of the ways you can do that is by holding X. If you hold X in midair, you're actually able to regain the action gauge, which allows you to hover for longer, more than you would otherwise be able to do so. If you press and hold X on the last frame of animation of something, by the way, you actually maintain your momentum. So that allows us to not only regain the action gauge and hover more, but also speed through the air faster, which is pretty cool. I just did what was known as a frame buffered input there. I was holding X, if you noticed, on the previous screen before the load came in. And what allowed me to do was immediately when I spawned into this area, because I was holding X and let go on the load screen, the game registers that as a first frame input, which allows us to break out of automation as Blaze and immediately get to Silver. This makes it such that we can get to Silver faster and telethrow to the end of this section, and that is Crisis City, everyone. Yeah, so Sonic 06 is an incredible speed game, and I hope you can see from the first stage alone what is possible in this game, because we just break it from the get-go, and in quite fun and fantastic ways. So at this point in the game, we are now facing the literal devil, Iblis, because why not? And this is our first introduction to Silver's combat mechanics. So, once we load in here, we're going to have some broken buildings. That's, you know, my favorite cereal. But essentially, in Silver's story, combat can come in two forms. The first form, which we aren't going to see here, is you can stun enemies and pick them up to destroy them. Or you can use object mechanics. So there are some pretty important things to take note of when we're like fighting stuff as Silver. So things will be picked up in a certain order, which means that if you throw them, they'll be thrown in that same order. So for instance here, the big one I picked up first was thrown first. I had to be a little bit careful here. Ah, nicely done. That was a little bit tight. But essentially, objects, again, you pick them up in a certain way, you're going to throw them in that exact same way. So you need to be careful with how you maneuver around things and how you pick things up so you don't break your own ammunition. The other important thing to keep up is essentially, as Silver in certain boss fights and against certain enemies, they will have invincibility frames. And so it's very important to make sure that you are not spamming objects, because if you spam objects, they won't hit multiple times. They instead will just hit for one hit, and that will waste a lot of things. And so now we get into yet another set of load screens. This is explaining to us the basic plot of Silver's story, which is, hey, this antagonist of Shadow's story, Mephiles, is coming into the future to tell Silver and Blaze, hey, you know this Iblis dude you hate? I know what caused it. A blue teenager. Kill him. And so he sends them back to the present, and that is what you do. Because that makes sense. And so, I was mentioning Telethrow earlier. That this is an incredible trick that can save so much time. It saves 5 minutes throughout the run. And this is one of the exemplary reasons why. The previous strat here, like this is pretty fast. You can see how fast we go when we throw rocks and stuff. But the previous strat here, oh, I was a little bit slow there, that's okay. I can use LEs. The previous strat here was to walk. Just walk to the mirror and play the stage that way. Which was a little bit slow, maybe a tad bit slow. And so instead we can just do that. Telethrowing has some nuances though, and we'll get to see it here in Tropical Jungle, and we did see it there in the hub world a little bit. So telethrowing works because the game essentially just throws it as a normal object, but it throws it down at 45 degrees from wherever Silver is standing. So as long as I have a steep enough angle, I'm able to telethrow on stuff. So this is a steep enough angle that I made from pushing an object against each other. That should be safe. I got to hurry. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. That was the best Tropical Jungle recovery I've ever done. So, what was I saying? Yeah, nuances. Essentially two things. The steeper the object, the higher up it'll go. The facing direction you have as Silver will also influence the direction you go. So if I face like slightly up left or up right first and then hold, I will go at a different angle than otherwise possible. So that's a little thing. It's like adjustments like that, and we'll see that later on. But now we got this stage, Wave Ocean Blaze, and I have done a frame buffered input again to break out of automation at the start, and we're going to do a loop launch. This is a 360 exclusive glitch. I'm running on the 360 version of the game. So I'm just gonna align myself here. I think I have a, you know, I have a fiery cat in the mail. Let me just check my mail, you know. Ah, it's arrived. Okay, cool. Okay, so that is a loop launch. It is a whiff, homing attack whiff. Basically, if you homing attack something in this game and you don't hit your original marker, the game is going to perpetuate it until you hit something else. In our case, that is the cave here. Let's see if this is real. It is real. Nice. Okay. This is now an AFC, or what should be called an advanced spinning claw. Basically, in this game, you have a move called the spinning claw. It's done by holding and letting go of X. That was a pretty solid Wave Ocean Blaze. If you charge a spinning claw by holding X and then jump and release it a frame after, and release it the correct frame, not only will you maintain your ground speed, which in our case is the rail speed, but you will also extend the duration of it by about 2 to 3 times, which allows us to have enough distance to get over to here. I am now ahead of average. I just like to say that I was behind average by about 21 seconds because of how rough the beginning was, and now I'm ahead of average. This is what Silver's story is like. Silver's story as a category is probably the least consistent overall, but it all adds up in the end.
Since we're so far ahead, do you have a second for me to say something?
Sure. Get right ahead.
So we have had somebody donate for, or not donate, but spend some channel points for hydrate. So make sure that you hydrate.
I will hydrate before we go into the desert, so I will make sure to. I promise you. But before I do, I need to talk about the lift exploit. So this is a trick that is used in Silver's early game. Basically, flat ceiling, flat object. The momentum will push you through the ceiling, and you can go out of bounds that way. Okay, I have enough time here. Let's go and hydrate. Love load screens in 06. But yeah, that lift exploit is super vital, essentially, in the early game of Silver Sturm. We're gonna see it right again here because it's one of the easier ways to get out of bounds. But you do need a flat surface, flat object, which can be easier said than done. Case in point, this pot. This pot here is rough sometimes, but we got a good pot. Thank you. So this is quite an incredible trick. If you've never seen this before, just watch and be amazed at what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna get this pot out of bounds like so. I'm going to then let it rotate for a bit until it lands on its back like this. We have a steep enough angle here, and so you know what that means. Telethrow time. Gonna throw once and then twice. Wait a little bit longer before I throw again, because there is a death plane above me. Ooh. Nice. Okay, there we go. So that's Dusty Desert. We essentially break out of bounds, then push a pot out of bounds, and telethrow on it. 48 seconds. Best RTA time we had just a year ago was 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And now you can get sub-minute in a run. This is why I love this game. I just... beautiful, beautiful video game. So, one thing I do like about 06, genuinely, is the fact that we have this really nice location that we're set in. It's set in Soliana, which is based off Venice, and so there's this really relaxing, calming mood that just goes about the entire game. You get these gondolas, you get the waterways, the beautiful scenery, the beautiful building types, and of course, my favorite, most relaxing experience, a 14-year-old decidedly killing a 16-year-old with a bunch of tables. Cathartic. I'm actually gonna wait a little bit to kill Sonic. I think I'm too quick. Yeah, way too quick. That's unfortunate. So what I was trying to do there was avoid the S rank. The S rank in this game adds too much time to the things. It adds an additional gold medal animation that takes 5.5 seconds. So it's actually better to get a 13-second time, no rings, and get an A rank than this, which is actually, unfortunately, the slowest method we could have gotten, which was to get a 12-second time with an S rank. But you win some, you lose some. The best time you can get in that in general, by the way, is about 6 seconds, but 6 seconds requires the objects to hit multiple times, what we call like just multi-hits, and that's just not reliable in any way, shape, or form. So we don't really go for it. It's safer to go for a 13-second time, but I unfortunately killed my favorite teenager too early, and it's a shame. Sometimes you think you defeated the Iblis Trigger, sometimes you defeat the Iblis Trigger just slower, and it's unfortunate. But we realized that's all wrong, or supposedly that's wrong, and we're just like, I don't know what to do at this point, Blaze, help. And then we get the sitting cutscene where Silver goes, man. And then instead of doing that, though, we're gonna go ahead and, at this point in this game, you're supposed to get something called the Shock Bracelet. Super useful move casually. It is, in fact, one of Silver's best moves. Super useful for combat. We don't want it at all, and we'll explain why later. Instead, I'm gonna cause a traffic violation, because that's the more important thing right now. So, in order to skip the Shock Bracelet, I'm going to take this sign, I'm going to push it against this wall, let it flip onto its back, push it like so, walk to the right, and there we go. Clipped right through. Geometry in this game works. That's sign clip, and it actually saves a lot more time over what we previously did. We used to do something really, really out there called a signed telelaunch, and we will talk about telelaunches later. There is still some telelaunch used in the game, but it's so much more consistent to do it like that, and I'm so glad. Okay, at this point in time, we are at the last section of blazes. We can just clip through here, by the way. Not even clip, it's just useful geometry. They decided not to make the gap there sealed, so we can just jump through it. And so, this is a blaze section. If you have anything you want to talk about, Playful, feel free to. We have about 30 seconds.
Alrighty, thank you so much. So, I just want to remind everybody that we're here to raise money for Heartland Animal Shelter. Just want to remind everybody that you can type !donate, excuse me, to get the donation link, where you can donate as much as you'd like, or as little as you like. As long as your message is family friendly, you might even hear it read on stream. If you need another reason to donate, your donation is tax deductible. No matter what, though, we appreciate you all for being here to support this wonderful charity.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, I just nailed a really difficult trick in the way that it's a way I go for it that is a one and done, and I got it first try. I had to get it first try. That was just really cool. I'll take it. So this is White Acropolis, everyone's least favorite silver stage. This used to be a walking stage, and of course now, because of telethrow, it is anything but. And because it's anything but, it can be a little bit annoying to set up all these throws, but you can get by with enough patience and virtue, like every other thing you do in your life. Silver is just really the best way to see if you are patient enough for a job in the future. But, we got some combat here, so certain enemies like these take multiple hits, but it's actually more efficient to use some mechanics they have. For instance, this enemy will almost always, like, take damage in pretty set ways. So in order to stun it more properly, you want to make sure that you are... Oh, you want to make sure that you're hitting it in such a way that it drops its arms, so space out your hits, and as soon as it has both arms done, it is vulnerable, meaning you can stun it. And if you stun it at that point, you can pick it up and throw it away. Quickest way to get rid of that enemy, unless you have multiple rock chunks used. This is a really good White Acropolis. That golded. Let's go. That was a great White Acropolis, honestly. I was not expecting to gold that split. Woo! Okay, up next we have Ag Genesis. And Ag Genesis here is a cyclic boss, takes 24 hits, 6 hits per cycle. We use missiles against it, missiles that it throws out at us, because that's the best way to attack silver, yeah. So you need to be very careful here with how you space your hits. And this is because the way we attack this boss is dependent upon its own cycles. As you can see right here, I was trying my best to get 2 cycles worth done with the first set of missiles I picked up, and then wait until it shoots another 3 sets of missiles before I attack it again. With that in mind, we were able to defeat it within pretty quick time. Low 43 is great. It's a second off IO world record. And so essentially, again, what we're doing here is 2 cycles worth, which you just have to measure basically off your action gauge, because each missile is a set amount of things, like a set amount of space it takes up. So you want 12, or slightly over 12, never under. And then you wait until the enemy is almost dead on its second cycle, wait for it to shoot more missiles, throw, and then get 12 more missiles from that. So all of you have seen the psychokinetic thrill of Silver the Hedgehog, and you have seen how incredible it has been as Blaze to just fire yourself through the stage. But none of you have experienced true speed. I want to make that very apparent. None of you have experienced true speed. We are going to finally go fast in this video game named Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. Heck yeah, Amy. Go fast. This is the Amy mission. We can't skip it. We play as Amy. She goes fast. Yep. This is a mission we have to play through. So if you have anything you'd like to talk about, again, Playful, you have another good 30 seconds here.
Alright, thank you so much. There's not much. I just want to remind everybody that we are halfway to our We Play Motion Flutterfly All Levels target. If you want to go ahead and donate for that, go ahead and click the Tiltify link that is in exclamation point donate. You can specify that that is where your money will go. And yeah, back to you.
Absolutely, you just finished right in time because Amy has done it. She has defeated Eggman's robots, and we are truly the savior of Sonic 06. We've done it. I actually judged the development of this run based on how much this mission takes up. It was 3.4% just a year ago, and now it's 3.8%. That shows you that we've saved more time elsewhere, because this mission it's a mission. It's arbitrarily faster on PS3 due to draw distance, basically killing some of the enemies for you, and yeah, that's a mission. Okay, we're heading for the station now. And this is normally mission 11, which comes after mission 12. Yes, Sonic 06 can count. Don't judge it. So, in order to get past mission 11, you're supposed to get a move called the Heart of Wind. And if you remember what I mentioned earlier about levitation extensions, or LEs, the game has some weird attributes in its stun slap move. If you hold the stun slap on the final frame of animation of something, you will maintain the momentum of that object or that action. And we can do that with the Heart of Wind, which is a teleport dash. The teleport dash goes really fast, and if I press X on the last frame, and only that frame, I can extend it like I just have. And so, that gives us massive speed, and Silver can do it from pretty much anywhere, which makes Silver the fastest character in the game, pretty much. So, the extended teleport dash, while it might seem daunting because it is a single frame trick, the upside of it is that it is the same frame each time. And so you can learn it pretty much through rote learning. Speaking of amazing things in Sonic 06, this shovel. Any shovel fans out there? Sonic Riders moment? Maybe? So yeah, we can use, again, telethrow on anything, including a shovel, which that started as a joke. We were like, it'd be funny if we could telethrow on that. And then we telethrowed on that, and we were like, oh god, that's faster. Oh no. Oh god, it's faster. And it is significantly faster. So, Sonic Riders came out the same day as 06, and it's truly linked. Everything is linked. Alright. So now we have the worst boss in the game. Shadow. I don't like this boss. I really don't like this boss. You might think that the boss that's random at the end of the game might be my least favorite boss. No, it's this one. It's this one. It's this boss. This boss is a little bit not good. Why might I think that? Well, Shadow is like Sonic in that he doesn't have invincibility frames, but unlike Sonic, he actually can defend himself. And so that sucks. We also have less objects than in Sonic's fight. So in order to defeat Shadow, we need to use all these barrels, and only the barrels will hit. You might think we have Shovel, but we don't have Shovel power here. Shovel is not really useful here. It doesn't attack Shadow. And so we're just like, I guess I don't have Shovel power. So you're reliant essentially on multiple hits and making sure all the barrels hit for multiple times. I was one hit away from a really clean fight. Still not a bad fight though, but I'm gonna wait. Yeah, Shadow sucks because of the lower amount of objects and the annoying properties of barrels. For instance, if you throw it the wrong way, it will just launch him across the stage without giving him any damage, and then your entire pattern is changed. Like, everything about it changes, unfortunately. And there we go. So, we're going into Aquatic Base right now, and the trademark thing about Aquatic Base in the speedrun is, it's short. Like, comically short, especially compared to what it is casually, because it's a maze-like stage where you swap between characters like Shadow and then back to Silver. And in every single story, Aquatic Base Section 1 is comically short. Watch. Watch what I mean. So we're going to go back here, we're going to clip through here, and then hover, because I messed up the SCTD. The other reason why we want to skip the Shock Bracelet is the Shock Bracelet is a move that is done by holding X, and if I, you know, don't have to hold X for longer, it means I can extend my teleport dash even further. So I can hold X and perpetuate that momentum as long as I want if I've skipped the Shock Bracelet, which is useful here, as we're going to see. But yeah, that was 15 seconds. That's normally 4 to 5 minutes. The final room is just behind us, and so we can clip out and then just fly all the way to there. So, because all you need in Sonic 06 pretty much to clip out is the right speed, geometry, and angle, gaming, we can just do that. It's a little bit slow because I clipped out late, but you can still see. And now we're doing Super Monkey Ball. Was this underwater? Yes, it was silver. But yeah, so now we have the science balls, as I call them, because what else are they? They're the fastest way to get through the section, and so we're just gonna line ourselves here. This corner looks pretty nice. Let's see. Yeah, that's Hoping Clip, everyone. A little bit of an annoying trick because essentially it's just not luck, but it's really good timing with how you do things. Oh, there we go. And now we get Silver Combat sans Shock Bracelet, which is honestly not the best combat. Silver's moveset is pretty limited when he doesn't have the Shock Bracelet. But the good news is that these enemies have a pretty predictable pattern or trait that they use, which is if they get stunned and they are registered as being in geometry, which includes inside enemies, you can just push enemies against them and they'll die. Just gonna wait for this enemy to stun itself, and yeah, that's not a terrible aquatic base for everything first try. But yeah, the combat in this last section is super variable. It can range anywhere from really good to really and it's like, But, you know, Sonic 06 giveth, Sonic 06 taketh, as we say. And now we're getting into the later half of the run. We are finally nearing the end-ish game. Kind of. And we're getting onto the best mission. The other required mission in this game is hilarious, because it's pointless, but it's also great. This is mission 14, which is protect Anna. She knows the secret. What is that secret? Old men in Kingdom Valley. Good luck. But no, seriously. That's pretty much what she's known for. She just tells us that, and that's cool, I guess. So, we're going to talk to her by talking to a guard, and then loading into a screen to talk to the guard again.
I'm going to stop that.
So here's the guard, and we're just going to have a really good loading screen right now. And as this loading screen loads, I'm going to explain what we're actually going to do in this boss. Or, this boss! Yes! Anna is the best boss in Sonic 06. No. This is a mission, where we are supposed to protect Anna by doing essentially an escort mission, where we fight a bunch of enemies and let Anna go to the end. The best way to do so is to not spawn in any of the enemies and let Anna go on her own. She will just progress if there are no enemies loaded in screen in front of her. So, I'm going to push her away from this bench so that she doesn't get stuck on it. She didn't get stuck? Good, we are not losing time from the dumbest thing. Honestly, that bench is the biggest time waste in this mission. So, Anna is now going to go to the end on her own, but we're not done quite yet. Literally, speeding up, Anna will speed up if there are enemies nearby her, and on bridges, there is only one way to go. So she will be forced to go faster forward if you spawn in enemies behind her, literally against the actual thing we claim in the mission, which is to protect her. It's faster to kind of actively threaten her, which isn't great, but hey, it's faster. So that's what we do. And we're just gonna mess about outside. Another good 45 seconds or so for announcements or anything you have of Playful.
All right, thank you so much. Unfortunately, right now we don't have any other donations, but I can talk about the charity that we are raising money for.
Absolutely.
So I've talked about an animal shelter before. They were founded in 2002 to help alleviate unnecessary euthanasia of animals in the Chicagoland area. In 2020, they helped save the lives of 979 animals and helped find homes for 1,002 dogs and cats. They're all looking forward to help saving more lives in 2021.
Great. Honestly, that's really cool. What I just did is something called Barrel Captain. We do it as a nice little fun thing in 06. It's Barrel Captain. It's a good sign if you get it, and it's a bad sign if you don't. We did get it, even if it was a bit jank, which means that this run's going to be perfect, of course.
That was easy.
If a little jank. And we're getting now on to the hardest trick in all of Sonic 06. This is the trick that has essentially divided this category into those who want to run it and everyone else. This is Trial Skip. So normally at this point in the game, you're supposed to do 3 missions, which unlock Kingdom Valley, which is the second to last stage in Silver's story. Much like in Dusty Desert, when we skipped Mission 8, a normally required mission, we can do so here, but not in the way you'd expect. The game developers were like, there's no way that the player is ever going to be able to get on top of this tower without completing the 3 missions, because they need to unlock the Eagle. Like, Silver needs to unlock the Eagle. He needs to fly. But they don't know how we can fly. This would be a significantly easier and faster trick if there was a single object, any object, you know, that we could interact with, because Telethrow. This would be significantly easier if they loaded a single object in. There is no object loaded in this, except for a bridge that is not interactable, which means we have to do this instead. I mentioned earlier the levitation extensions. The levitation extensions are frame-perfect extensions of my momentum from my hover. They also regain the action gauge, which is done by holding X. So if I press A, hover, and then let go, hold X 2 frames after, and only that frame, and hold it like this, I'm able to regain my action gauge and hover up this geometry. This is absolutely not an easy trick, and I am pretty much the only person who does this. Because every single one of the things, when you see Silver going higher up and it pushing him easily higher up, that is a single frame. But this is faster by over 2 minutes in RTA. Notably, this isn't faster if you take out all the load times. It's actually 30 seconds slower. But this goes to show how long the load times are in this game. If the load times make this a trick that's normally 30 seconds slower over 2 minutes faster, then yeah, the load times are a big menace in 06. I just got off the second wall, which is probably the nicest one, and we're getting on to everyone's least favorite, Wall 3. This wall is super steep, and I'm going to need to concentrate here just to do a few of these in a row in order so I don't die. My action gauge is low, as you can see, and this is very steep. I need to hit all these pretty much in a row in order for me to survive. So, just gonna concentrate. I feel the power. I feel the power of wanting to destroy Iblis in my veins. I'm a 14-year-old from the future. I can do this. There we go. So this is wall 3, and the reason why it's so hard is it's very steep. The other 2 walls were nowhere near as consistently steep as this one is. The other thing that comes into play, you might see that there's geometry, like, physically, like, you know, you can see it visually. That's not the geometry of the actual platform we're on, the invisible walls. This is essentially like a long, like, diagonal rectangle down. And so there's like a ceiling at the right that goes diagonally up to the left. And there's another one, an edge at the left. If you fall off that ledge, you're going to be pushed down and have to redo from an earlier part of Wall 3. Makes it really slippery at times, but if you can nail this stuff, it's very, very useful. We have one more set of recharges to do, and then we have the last bit of Trial Skip. The last bit's actually one of the easier ones. It's getting here to Wall 3 without falling down, like so. That is the hardest part, because this is such unreliable geometry. It's so deceptive, and I just have to get a feel for it. It takes time, and I don't recommend new runners do this, and in fact, we're making a loadless timer, the standard in 06, hopefully soon enough, which makes this trick pretty much invalid for loadless world record, but it's still super useful for RTA, and I will still do it in marathons until the day I die, baby. So I'm going to go over here, levitation extension over to here, and we are done Trial Skip pretty much at this point. I just need to get one more set of refills, and there we go. That is Trial Skip, everyone. Hardest trick in the game, just done in a marathon again. Whew. Always a nerve-wracker, but especially when I'm explaining things as I'm going through. But there you go. That's Trial Skip. Yeah, and there's no break. You might think there's a break after that. It's like, oh, thank gosh. Oh, man. Heck, we just did trial skip. There's no way this game could get any more complex or anything. Well...
Darn it! I should have realized Eggman's scheme.
Well... It's 06. I think I'm too low. I'm gonna hover. Ugh, am I gonna make it? Let's see. So that's a telelaunch. This is based off a former trick known as the telefling, which telether actually replaced in a lot of areas. Essentially, as Silver, I can pick up objects as if I'm from afar while on top of them. And at that point, the game tries to push it away constantly from me. In that state, if I throw it, it will then be permanently in that thrown state, which makes it go zoom in one direction. If I then time my throw right, and then lift the object up while it's in that state, it will skyrocket. And that allows me to skip all that section there. Pretty neat trick. Is this box going to survive? I don't think it did. One more chance. So this is Sonic skip. I was mentioning earlier that we can skip Sonic in Silver's story. But it involves this really nasty trick known as Sonic skip. This is a very difficult set of telethrows, but I'm going to try for it because it's a marathon. So I've gotten a box over here, finally. And at this point, I need to flatten the box, and I need to get it at the right state. What the... Physics! Havoc is a viable physics engine. Look at Breath of the Wild. It used it well. So I have a box here, and I have gotten it at the right angle such that I can get it steep. I need to throw it like so above this wall, and then to the right. So I was mentioning facing direction. Facing direction is super important in Silver's story for telethrowing. So I need to actually hold towards the left of the box, but I can face another direction and lock it, which allows me to essentially adjust my throws to one direction or another. And in doing so, I have skipped all of Sonic, all of his section. I'm now here at the end of Silver. A little bit slow because I didn't get the SCTD, but there we go. Whew! Hard trick. So glad I got it. Okay, we're gonna get down here, and this is the ending section. Combat as Silver here is not as easy as combat as Sonic. That was a pretty solid set of combat, and there we go. We also avoid the S rank this way because we don't have to destroy the enemies earlier in Silver's story.
Like I'm on a roll.
There you go. Woo!
Real quick, do you have time for a donation?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. So, from Tempest Mass 1000 for $2.06. Whew, what a day today. But hello, Horrible Games, once again. I'm glad we've surpassed some of the goals already, but let's keep the giant underwater base silver ball rolling. Oh, wait, that stage is already over, so it's no use. Either way, good luck with your run, Focus.
Thank you for the puns, Tempest. I am specifically speaking closer to the mic just so you know how much I feel about that. Anyways, Flame Core is the last stage in Silver's story, and what else do we do besides use a box again? Because, you know, it's a box, it's Silver's story, we love it. So... You notice this capsule over here. It is a bit of geometry, actually. And so, once this box responds... Ta-da! I'm gonna push it on it, and I'm going to stop it, and I'm gonna telethrow on it, because I can. This should be good enough. Yeah, that's a good enough steepness. You can see the steepness itself does matter. If you don't get it steep enough, it's not going to be able to clear that gap. And so you need to be really careful with that. And as you can see, I'm adjusting left. Ooh, I don't think I can go over. I was trying to go over that because it's slightly safer, but we can't clip through this door. Oh no. Ooh. I'm going to have to do a lot of really weird maneuvering here because I accidentally SCTD'd in the wrong direction. Am I going to make it? I just have to do a bunch of frame perfect tricks in a row again, you know, Silver things. Silver, no. Okay, we still made it. Whew. Yeah, so Silver's movement is fantastic, but also really finicky. And you got these Cocoa Puffs here. These Cocoa Puffs. God, they scare me. These are random. They just randomly appear, and if you get hit by them, like so, they do hurt, and they even hurt when I'm in this automation here. which sucks. But, you know, it's a thing. And now I'm going to do another hard trick because it's a marathon. Of course, I wouldn't, you know, go without trying this. So, we're going to try for a box telelaunch, everyone. So I mentioned earlier we did a telelaunch on rocks. This is because rocks rotate pretty consistently. Boxes don't. Boxes are very sharp, have very sharp points when you rotate them, and so it's very difficult to stay on them for the duration of both the animation of, like, throwing it and, like, lifting it. Not impossible, but not easy. So, I'm going to stand on this box, or I was going to. Let's get to respawn first. Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. Did it actually get stuck over there like that? Did you see that, everyone? It was in the corner down there. Anyways, let's see if I can get this. Okay, that's one failed attempt. I'm gonna do this 2 more times, I think? Or maybe 1 more. And then I'm gonna go for the backup for it. So I'm gonna get on it like this, stand like that. Okay. Okay, yeah, telethrow's not working quite well for me. So I'm gonna do something else called kerfuffle. This is my backup in case I mess that up. Okay, this game is just not being nice to me with the physics engine right now. But this is going to be worth all the payout. I can't explain this trick other than just watch. That's a thing we can do. Havoc physics engine go brr, basically. That's all I can explain that one with. I didn't get high enough to avoid the death planes over in that last room, otherwise I would have hovered in. So we're just going to hover into this room instead. Just go down to here. I also don't want to hover above there because there is death planes in that room as well. And now we're later in the stage. And we're going to fight the power of Iblis, or as I like to call it, the massive buff. So now I have enough rings here. I need to use some, there's some, what's it called? Damage boosting here that we're going to use. So I'm going to clip through here. Going to fail the ETD really spectacularly because the camera didn't work. And I'm going to hover. Okay, got some rings, and I can then ETD, like so. Gonna wait. Go back. Gonna pause buffer a teleslide. A teleslide is essentially a teleport dash that's done on the ground. You have 2 frames to do it normally, but it's easier to pause buffer it and consistently get through there. And that is Flame Core done. Woo!
Congratulations. Do you have time for another quick donation?
Yes, we have 1 more boss after this, so.
All right, real quick. $50 from The Meat. Careful when flying now.
I will be very careful, thank you. So, yeah, last boss of this game. You might think after all of this game, you know, all the stuff we've gone through, what is the best way to end this game, to end this story, playful? What do you think would be the best thing in a speedrun? What would you want out of your final boss?
Something very fast.
Nope, you get an RNG boss fight that can vary by over a minute. So, this is Iblis 3, welcome. This is a very terrible boss. This boss is completely luck-based because of these, the batches of Cocoa Puffs that we can get. These are actual items that we can throw. And as a result, they can count towards hits. If you get 13 from luck, you can get a 120. If you get 8 from luck, you can get a 150. And what I am aiming for right now is just a 220, which means I just need to get 1 more hit from luck. A 220 is normally what I accept in Silver Story for this stuff. It sucks that we end such a very, you know, high octane and, you know, enthralling story with a boss that is quite literally random, and is very unpredictable. I mean, it's technically not random, but it's humanly random, if that makes sense. Like, we cannot predict where all the ball will be, where all the puff will go. Like, I can't predict that for you. I don't have all those factors. I think this is still a 220. A little bit nervous about the low health bar, or the high health bar. I wish this game ended with a shmup. I mean, does Solaris count as a shmup? Are we gonna call Solaris a shmup at this point? I don't think that's fair, but I'll take it. Solaris is my favorite shmup, ever. Alright, so we're gonna now get the facepalm. Nice, we can slap him, just like there. But we're actually going to facepalm him, don't worry. This does 5 points of damage. I'm pretty sure we are... this is going to be tight, so hang on, everyone. Let's see if we actually finish within this minute. I am not too certain, looking at the numbers here. I think we're good, so we should have time coming up next, at this final hit. I hope. It's, I think, exactly the amount of hits I need. 5 hits. 5 Cocoa Puffs worth. So, time is coming up. Hopefully, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. 43-39. Wow. That was actually pretty good considering that that's less than 90 seconds off world record. Right there. That was a pretty good run, especially considering all the mistakes. Wow. I'm happy with that.
Perfect.
Great job.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic for that, honestly. Heck yeah, we brought down my sum of best by 1 second because of that 1 gold, but that was really good overall. Especially since the early game was really rough. Like, Crisis City was, woo. And now we get the final cutscene, obviously, but we did, I believe, have an incentive for this game, right? We did have an incentive for the glitch exhibition, and I believe it was hit.
I believe so, yes.
Cool. So we get to see more glitches, because you already thought this game was broken as is, but like... Oh, I just lost everything. I lost all my channel points because I said it wouldn't go well. Nice. Because that's Silver's story, how else will I know? So, I'm actually going to keep on this profile that we have here. I'm going to, hopefully... Is this going to be a battery issue? Oh, God. Hello? I might need to get new batteries. I can do that in quick enough time. Playful, do you want to just mention some things about the charity again while I go get new batteries? It's not a new record. No. It's not a new record. World record is a 4202. This is a 4339. I'm going to get some batteries. I'll be right back.
All right, will do. I can absolutely talk more about the charity. However, the Meats donation fulfilled the Mighty Number 9 Beat the Mighty Numbers target, so that is going to be something to look forward to later. However, if you are enjoying the current game, if you want to check out the schedule for the rest of the marathon, because we are going to be going until late tomorrow, go ahead and hit !schedule in the chat. You'll be able to take a look at that. And just real fast, talking more about Heartland Animal Shelter. Their vision is to eliminate euthanasia for any adoptable animal. Their mission is to provide a no-kill shelter for the care, humane treatment, and adoption of lost, stray, and abandoned animals, and to find permanent, loving homes for homeless animals and promote responsible pet ownership through education, community outreach, and collaboration while maintaining respect and compassion for all creatures. And back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me get batteries in the middle of that. I'm just going to need to resync this. There we go. So now I have 2 controllers. I am doubly as dangerous at this point because we're going to be playing multiplayer. And you might think, hey, is that the thing that they showed at Breaking Bad? And yes, it is. They showed this off at Breaking Bad. Not a joke. Literally, if you watch an episode of Breaking Bad, they have the multiplayer mode in it from Sonic 06. Because what else would you have in Breaking Bad? You know, drugs? No. It's all about Sonic 06. So multiplayer in this game is the most, really oddly jank thing in the entire game. And you've seen the entirety of Silver's story. But this is jank on another level. So, we're going to do some various things here. We're just going to have some fun with this, honestly. So I am playing as Sonic in Player 1, and I have access to my gems, as previously stated. The game decided that some animations don't exist in multiplayer. So normal, fragmentation of boxes and other things don't exist. Silver's entire moveset has pretty much none of the particle effects that you're used to. It's weirdly supposed to be optimized, but they just had a blast with this mode. It made sense. They did really well. We appreciate, honestly though, support devs even if they make supposedly bad products, because the devs usually aren't the issue. Why? So I have just died while holding the red gem, which slows down everything by half. And when it respawns, it tries to correct for that. And the way in which it corrects for that is to make Sonic double speed. Everything. Everything Sonic does is double the speed, which means I can just homing attack through things because of how fast Sonic is. Literally, everything is double speed. The blue gem, which is already a gem that makes you go, like, really fast, even faster. And if I do this right... Oh, I died. That's cool as well. Let me just get the speed shoes while I have this. You know, the only time they appear, they don't actually appear in the main game. They appear in the multiplayer mode, though. Look at this. Look at this go. Look at him go. Look. It's Sonic, everyone. You can literally just... It's just great. It's amazing. So this will last until you hit the red gem again. I mean, every animation. Look, every single animation is sped up. And we can even do it on, like, rails. Like, we can just go here, if I can. It tends to break automation as well. I'm just going to switch back to red gem normally. I'm not going to die as Silver, because as Silver, if you hit, like, a checkpoint and you have a partner character here, they'll warp to each other. And so I can just go over here, hover, and die. So, playful. Sonic and Silver are in the same space together, and I can pick up Sonic in this mode. What do you think will happen?
I have a feeling somebody's gonna fly.
You're wrong. Sonic becomes tiny and flat. Because, why not? You know? It just is a thing that Sonic can do, apparently.
Because Sonic 06.
Yep. And this is because you stood at the same position and picked him up, and it just becomes flat. If I do this at an angle, which I'm going to try to do now. There we go. We can get wide Putin Sonic on the water. Just watch. He is slightly flat and slightly wide. Like, it's really weirdly proportioned. I don't know if you can see that. Also, if I go to the purple gem. Now he's slightly tiny. You know, he's tiny, flat, wide Sonic going on the water. This is a video game. But as you can see, the water has very weird momentum properties. It's the same ones as in Wave Ocean Blaze. Essentially, if you're at a slight weird angle or incline or have a lot of momentum building down, it's going to launch you up. And because of the skewed gravity here, Sonic will just skip until I hit something else, which will be this thing over here. That's pretty cool. I can also constantly throw the Sky Gem, which is nice. But we're not done the multiplayer antics here yet. Oh! I went really high there. That was higher than I was expecting. Cool video game. Anyhow, I'm going to go back and die again, because there's some last things I want to do here as Silver, and then we're going to do some stuff as Shadow and Silver. In Sonic 06, we can also throw our characters, and I mentioned before that if you have some weird skewed gravity, water doesn't work, as you'd expect. And as we can see here, let me see if I can time this right. No, it's too low. That should be good. I can then throw Sonic like so. And we're gonna bounce to the end of the stage. My favorite thing to do here, though, we're gonna do this again, but differently. Oh, nice camera change right there. So if I actually tap left, I can then go right, because gravity is backwards. And then it's constantly still throwing Sonic, still throwing Sonic, still throwing Sonic until I jump. And the goal is right here, but we don't want the goal. I don't want that. Stupid little thing. No, 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 no. Big, flashing lights weren't. Well, not flashing lights, but big, like, if you have, like, epilepsy, you might want to look away for this. That's all I'm going to say to start off with. So, if I spam the purple gem here, the game will constantly try to center the camera away, and as a result, we get this, and then we're going to get this lovely pan through Wave Ocean right now, as we go back inbounds, and now, oh, look at the lovely scenery. Oh, it's so beautiful. There he is. Hi, Sonic. And that is multiplayer mode, but I'm going to do one last thing before we do stuff here, before we head on to the next run. I'm going to go back and I'm going to select Shadow and Silver, and we're going to go to Dusty Desert. Shadow also can do the small, flat, tiny glitch, because sure. And it's even funnier because of one particular aspect of Shadow's movement, or Shadow's abilities, we should say. So I'm just going to play as Silver through here. Just do some sick ETDs, bruh. I forgot I could hover immediately and skip the dash panel. That's silly, I love it. Are we gonna... There we go. Shadow's just jittering, don't worry. I wish I had the caffeine Shadow's having right now, honestly, because I have another run to do. Cool. Thank you for all the sand, I appreciate it. So I'm just gonna clip through here. Oh, we're gonna have Shadow die, of course. Okay, are we gonna actually clip through here? The door's at a weird angle here. There we go. I have this thing. I'm just gonna go over to here. Shadow, die, please. I now need to die a Silver, which I can easily do by just... I can clip through here. Oh, there's a way to clip through here. Thank you. And let's do it as this. Let's do Flat Shadow. Every time I see it, every time, it's better than the last time. Oh, I love this. Oh, this is great. But not this, not just this alone. If I jump and use the Chaos Spear, watch. So Shadow's very flat right now. Like, super flat. Big spear from Tiny Man. Oh, it's such a weird feature. But that is essentially the multiplayer glitch exhibition. Thank you guys for raising enough money to hit it, and thank you for supporting the Heartland Animal Foundation. I really, really appreciate everyone donating for it, and I hope you all enjoyed my run of Sonic 06. It was really fun, and I just had a blast, honestly. I was going to leave spinning around here.
It was an absolutely great time. Anyway, let's hear it for Focus. He'll be back in a couple of minutes here. Stick around while we get set up for his Mega Man X7 run. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere now.